Hi everyone, welcome to DOdaily, Tuesday training. It's Des here. Looking to build into the week, looking to check in and let you know how things are going. Of course, yesterday on Monday Motivation, I was talking about a run and how that put me in good spirits. A weekend of not doing a great deal, relaxing, probably easing off some of that tiredness from all the exciting things that have gone before. So today it's just a case of being back at it, building on whatever activity I did. Normally I'd like to increase the intensity, increase the tempo, but with the injury I've been carrying, today it's just about getting out for a walk. It's been a long walk, I'm out with the dog, but it's been about 4 miles I think I'm going to have done by the end of it. So really pleased to have had a little bit more time again. Tuesday tends to be a good day for me now, so when I really do pick up with my activity levels, with my running, I'm really looking forward to making the most of some time on my own, and that's important. I'll come back to that a little bit later. It's something I'm going to discuss on today's Tuesday training episode of DOdaily. As you can see, I'm just down by the Trent. Familiar spot, been here quite a lot recently. It's a little bit of a dead end, the path stops, so I like getting down here with the dog. He can get off the lead and I can just say a few words. As you can see around me towards the Lady Bay Bridge, and of course football ground there, place I take so much inspiration from, and then Trent Bridge just in the distance. It's a fantastic place to get out, especially when you've got some free time and you're roaming about at leisurely pace, and just like I say, feeling particularly good about myself. Whilst I've been doing that, I've been listening to some podcasts, really getting back into some old habits. If you watched yesterday's episode, you'd have heard me talking about a time when I had to dig deep and really make massive strides to help myself, some personal development, talking about a time when I got into running, when I had to do quite a lot without people really looking in, and that was important at that time. It's shown that I had drive and determination to do the things that I wanted to do to get to a better place, and over the last 6 or 7 years I've definitely done that. In recent times, in the last couple of years, I had an operation 2 or 3 years ago now. Never really found that same level of commitment and desire. It's been a little bit of a battle with the running and getting fit, put weight on, you know, and I've spoken about all these things through DOdaily. I've had little spells of where it's worked, where I've lost weight, where I've got to a good fitness level, and then an injury set me back or things like that. So that episode yesterday was the perfect reminder that I kind of need to go back to the thought processes of where I was then and some of the actions. But what I've kind of understood today by listening to those 1 or 2 podcasts, by thinking about it, is not to dwell too much on that past. You know, whilst it was good for me then, I'm in a completely different place now, a place where I can push on a little bit further. Towards the end of yesterday's episode, I said I'm definitely not starting from the same place, but again, it's important for me to do all the things I enjoy, you know, keep trying to pay it forward in the way I do through DOdaily. Of course, this is my daily vlog where I'm just trying to encourage others, trying to motivate and inspire myself to be a slightly better person, you know, a bit of self-development, a bit of a journey, you know, which I'm quite open and candid about. So these are the things that make me tick. So whilst I do have to remember all those, I also have to remember that we can't dwell on it. Like I said there, you know, there's absolutely no point worrying about what's gone before. And I'm not really that kind of person, despite the fact I mentioned it yesterday, despite the fact going home at the weekend to a park run was a timely reminder that yes, there is a certain way I did it before, and there is certain things I can take from that. You know, we can't look too hard, you know, because everything changes every day. And if we live in the past, you know, we forget about the end goal ultimately. We forget about where we're actually going. And that's, I guess, where my eyes have removed themselves from. You know, taking my eyes off the prize a little bit. I know I've got plenty of drive, determination. I'm dedicated to the things I do. But again, I've probably been a little bit guilty of looking back a little bit too much, to a time when I knew I could lose the weight, or to a time when I did lose the weight, so I automatically assume I can do it again. To a time I could run faster, so I'm automatically assuming I can do it again. I know I can do it again. I know I can get to the point I need to be. But again, I've got to keep looking forward, got to keep being positive, eyes on the prize, living every day almost as if it's our last. We're not guaranteed another day, so what's the point spending time worrying about what's gone before? And in reality, we sugarcoat it to some degree, don't we? We sugarcoat the past. Those memories we've got of big occasions, big nights out, they're probably even better than they actually were at the time. You might think back to that night out and how amazing it was, all your friends was out and you got really drunk, but you might have actually been sick, felt rubbish for 2 days afterwards. You might have fallen over, scratched your face, I don't know, just reeling something off now. But I'm sure you get the point. I'm sure you see where I'm coming from in the fact that yes, it was good, it is worth remembering, but it's definitely not worth dwelling on. If we're going to get anywhere, if we're going to keep pushing forward, if I'm going to get back to the point that I felt I was at before, I've got to keep looking forward, got to keep making it happen as I can. And for me, that's keep talking about it, keep trying to understand it, keep learning, keep putting the effort in where I can today, rather than be negative about the fact I can't run. I'm being really positive about how many miles I've done, what I'm doing whilst I'm doing it, got the dog out, using this free time. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? To keep my spirits high, to keep my positivity flowing, to try and inspire and encourage others. That's the way I have to be. That's the way it's got to be. Otherwise, if we just keep looking at what went before, we'll just sort of run ourselves down into the fact that it's never going to be like that again. We all spend time with people who love to reminisce. They use a term in Nottingham called a romancer. I'm not sure it's a widely used term, but in Nottingham you'd hear of a person people describe as a romancer, and that's somebody who just lives in the past, never looking forward, and ultimately just brings you down, because of the negativity and the fact that they never think they're going to get again and it's never going to happen. And what we really need to do is spend the time with forward thinking, positive people, create a good energy to work from. And even when it's not absolutely exhilarating, today is definitely not that for me. It's a case of keep pushing on, and realising what are the good parts of it, what we can take forward. And I think that's a really, really important message, guys, as I'm just going about my week, like I say, using these daily motivations. The motivations themselves are positive slants on the day. If I tell myself what they are first thing in the morning, if I work off them, I tend to have a much better day for it. And sometimes the message is that simple, isn't it? It's as simple as just using certain words to get yourself going. For me, listening to a podcast or listening to some positive music, or even though this sounds slightly contradictory, using something that's happened before. It's good to use it, it's good to remember it, but it's definitely important not to dwell on it. And what we also have to do is mould it into a way in which we can take it forward. That's really, really important. Every single day we should be looking to take a step forward. Memories are absolutely fantastic at the right time, but they shouldn't sort of overtake us. They shouldn't define the way we take things forward. We're always learning, we're always processing. This is what I'm doing on DOdaily, processing my thoughts. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying, hopefully you take something out of it and it works for you, because all I'm doing right now, right here, is doing exactly what works for me. When I'm in this kind of talkative, positive, enthusiastic frame of mind, I know everything's going to start happening. When you start driving yourself forward, things open themselves up. Just a little thing I'm going to talk about before I finish today, and it's really, really honest, it's really, really candid in reality. In recent months, in recent years, when I started this sort of journey I'm talking about, this self-development and doing things with real drive and getting from one point to another, almost doing it in silence, I've relied a little bit on others. I've relied I've built groups to encourage people, to support people, and perhaps not got the same recompense back. I'm not complaining, you know, I don't do it for that, but I've probably expected it just out of not expected it, because that contradicts what I just said, but almost sort of thought that people might repay in the same without doing it exactly for that reason. Hopefully you see what I mean. And it doesn't come, and then you get a little bit disappointed. And again, that probably thrown me back to a point where I've had to look back. But it doesn't work like that, because it's all the things we do as individuals, it's the choices we make, the hard work we put in that take us to that next level. I did one or two things, created a YouTube channel, spoke about my personal feelings, you know, was picked up in certain quarters, and I ended up appearing on other YouTube channels. Ended up getting some paid football content from it because somebody thought I could do that. But I've lost that recently, and it's an important thing, and it's an important lesson. You know, I've lost that, the paid side of it, through no fault of my own. Still doing it, still enjoy it. But it's affecting me in the sense that I lost a couple of £100 a month. It doesn't kill me, it doesn't really sort of bring me down, but it does affect, if anybody in my situation, it would affect to some degree. I'm not a millionaire, I've not got much money at all in all reality, but the point I'm getting to with it is I could let it set me back. I could think, right, I'm not doing that, I've got to go right back to the drawing board. But all I'm doing is continuing to try and take forward what I was doing. And for me, it's getting back to this YouTube channel, you know, keeping that football content going, paid or unpaid. You know, and there's other areas where I do a bit of coaching, numbers have dropped off, some paid coaching, numbers have dropped off, and it'd be easy to throw in the towel and say I'm not doing that. But all it does makes me even more determined. It's something I absolutely love, the coaching side of things. So it's important for me to really keep at it, you know, keep finding ways to drive numbers back up, to get enjoyment from it. And again, hopefully at some point it'll all come to me. I started this episode, and as I spoke about yesterday, of starting in a much lesser place than I am now. And if I got to the point where I felt almost it peaked, you know, I can definitely get there again and above it by starting in a much better place. And that's the message today, guys. It's keep looking forward, keep doing what we've got to do as the week passes on. You know, I'm happy with my daily motivations, with my activity level, with where I'm kind of heading, with where my thought processes are. And I'm heading into the middle of the week where I really start to look. Of course, I'm checking in every day, but Wednesday, hump day, is the perfect opportunity to almost weigh up how it's going. I work in these small blocks, these motivations. You know, Wednesday workout, I'll start to think about it on Thursday thoughts, and then attacking the day on a Friday to finish strong and be in a good frame of mind for a time I really enjoy, and coming back next week to keep taking it forward. And that's all I've got to say. Hopefully you really sort of take something from that, and if you're not feeling fantastic, or if life's giving you the lemons, you know, it's time. Sorry, I'm just looking for the dog. Sorry about that, got a little bit distracted by the dog. He stumbled across another one, I had to get him away. But I'd kind of said my message, I'd said what I've got to say. Like I say, we've got to keep pushing it forward and doing what we can. And if we're not quite feeling it, you know, we're giving ourselves a chance if we do. Please give this episode a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. Really appreciate the support. All I'm trying to do, as ever, be really positive about whatever happens next, and keep enjoying what gets us by. Until that Wednesday workout episode, have a fantastic evening. If you can get out, get for a walk, a run, absolutely anything to get those endorphins going, that will definitely help too. Just doing it.